So I was told by a pal when I told her, it's going to be a big room and I'm nervous, and she says, raise your hand. They'll all start raising their hand and they'll get quiet. So she lied. I'll text her later. Great. Okay. So we're going to do a mindset intervention. Are you ready? You've had a few this morning already, actually. One of the most critical pieces we can teach people is about the brain and how it grows. So if you look inside this brain, you're going to see neurons. This is what it would look like if we were able to go inside a brain. They communicate by a network of dendrites and axons. And when you pay attention to something, they fire. And as they fire, they wiggle and they grow. And over 3 weeks' time, paying attention to things, practicing things, you grow new dendrites, more dendrites. Your brain becomes a stronger neural network. So that smart is something that you physically become by work and by growth. You get a heavier, denser brain. More pathways mean you get around your brain faster, right? And your axons, which send signals to the dendrites, can get thicker, and they can get covered in myelin, which becomes more of a superhighway. Things you're fast at, information maybe you can retrieve really quickly. These are the pathways that you've built over time. Even your bad habits are something you should kind of be proud of because it proves that you can grow your brain. Okay, you have healthy neural pathways. Maybe you don't want to do those things. And that's why it's so hard to break a habit, because it's there. You've got to grow a new pathway. Lots of people don't know they can, and so they don't. And when we don't have these knowledge and tools, and we haven't had this intervention where someone shows us, look, the dendrites wiggle, and we don't realize that these healthy life choices that maybe we thought people were just kind of telling us what we should do, we don't realize that those grow our brains. We don't take advantage of that and put all the pieces together to become more intelligent. Especially students don't. This is a poster from our brainology program that's intended for kids, and it tells kids why these things are so important for their brains. So certain foods that are not in our standard American diet, our SAD diet, right? So things with extra omega-3s to counterbalance our over intake of omega-6s. We need eggs with choline, lots of water. We also need to sleep. None of you want to hear this, I know. But we've got to sleep so that our brains can build our memory for all of this hard work that we do every day on the job. The other thing that we need to do is get our exercise. Now, some people think that's a value judgment, like it's important to be thin. But I have a question, and you can just call out this time. How many of you work in chronically stressful jobs? Yes. I hear you all the time talking about how our students are stressed. We have kids that work in a stressful environment. They can't think, they can't learn. Why is that mirror not in front of our face? Okay, so what exercise does is it brings oxygen into your body. It breaks down stressful chemicals that are in your bloodstream, and it frees your brain for learning and thinking. Otherwise, you go into brain lock in a stressful situation, just like your students do, and it hinders that dendrite growth. So of course, you're not getting smarter if we don't know these things. So teaching people just these pieces, what we're finding has a massive impact on their learning, on their motivation, and what they choose to do.